All stations, Mumbai Control, how do you read?
Read you 5, Picture Tango Kilo Romeo India.
Radio 5, Victor Tango, Victor India Romeo.
By control, radio 5, Alpha Kilo Charlie.
By control, Radio 5, Vector Tango Mike Papa November.
Radio 5, Victor Tango, Mike November Romeo.
Radio 5, Victor Tango, Sierra Echo Hotel.
Radio 5, Victor Tango November India Sierra.
Victor Tango Hotel Alpha Romeo.
Radio 5, Victor Tango Alpha Bravo.
Radio 5, Victor Tango Alpha Alpha Kilo.
Radio 5, Victor Tango Extra Yankee Solo.
Before we continue, before we continue chat reading, I'll be open for a couple of questions. So guys and girls, go ahead. If you have anything to ask one by one, you can also write down it in chat quickly. And guys, I cannot see you all. I would like to see you all. Understand it's a live session. So please. Okay, nice to see familiar faces. Others, please turn on your cameras, guys. It's a given, right? Before we start with chart reading, open for a few questions, not many. So whoever can go first, please ask your questions. Anything that you have on your mind, anything to do with RT, what we have covered so far, what you think you want to do, what you have done.
Sir, I just wanted to ask something. In lecture 3 or 4, we did some calls, but in some call we use passenger and board and security check cleared. But in some calls we don't use passenger on board and security check. I just want to know in which call we use or not.
Whenever you are requesting for a startup call, permission to start your engines. What is a startup call? It is a permission to start your engines so that you can proceed for your departure. Okay. And the procedure is starting your engines by requesting startup, asking for a pushback. Pushback is something that can go hand in hand with your startup, but ideally your pushback should be done first and then startup. And whenever you say startup, you say passenger on board and security check cleared so that you get an approval to leave the airport and go to your destination. That is the meaning. We say the ATC might do a background check on the passenger manifest that we had proposed for a flight plan. And they will also cross check whether security has cleared that particular flight or not. If you don't give an affirmation, then there's always a doubt about whether the passengers have been cleared through security. And you don't need anyone who's not cleared through security to be on board the aircraft because of the dangers associated with unlawful interference or unlawful activities. This term unlawful interference is very important for you guys. it can come in the question. Anything which is illegal to be carried on board the aircraft comes under unlawful interference. And passengers trying to threaten the cabin crew or flight crew, forceful entry into the cockpit, trying to rush towards the door in mid-flight, all this is a part of unlawful interference. The passenger does not have to be a terrorist, but he can still terrorize the people inside. It could be because of alcohol abuse or under any sort of drug. All that can happen. But on a lighter note, it is ideal to say security check cleared and passenger on board before your startup request is made or during your startup request. And sometimes you can also say the same when you're going close to your landing area, or basically when you're preparing to arrive. And when you talk to the destination tower for the first time, even then you can say that we have 105 passengers on board. It is not necessary to say through security because during departure you were through security. But the only time you have to mention passenger on board and security check cleared is during your startup call. And passenger on board can also be announced whenever you have an emergency on board where your plane is about to crash. That's when you have to say how many people's life is at risk by saying passengers on board. Sometimes when you're making an emergency landing, that's when also you have to mention passenger on board. And there are times when your aircraft will be making a forced landing. Basically, it is not crashing, but you cannot control it either. And that will affect. So those are the times you can mention passenger on board, but those times you don't have to say security check cleared.
Roger.
I'll take 2 more questions, guys and girls. Guys, I cannot see your faces. Students, those who have turned it on, I respect that. Keep it up. You don't need a reminder. A couple of y'all didn't need a reminder. They were on by default. I really value that.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Extra Yankee Zulu.
Victor Tango X-ray Yankee Zulu, Mumbai ground. Go ahead.
So how to comply with the ATC clearance? I think lecture 4 and question number 5.
Yeah. So how to comply with ATC clearance? You must have seen that ATC clearance was a part of the last call, the live mock exam that we had solved. And if you guys remember, there were a couple of errors noticed by y'all, which we needed to solve in our assessment. So we'll be doing it in the 7th lecture. And that's when I'll show you all how to do ATC compliance, ATC clearance compliance. It is basically a step-by-step reporting of what you were advised to do or proposed, what you had proposed to do. That compliance can be a part of your ATC clearance compliance. It can be a part of your taxi compliance, or it can actually be a part of how to comply when you have a route. So it is threefold, and we'll spend at least 30 minutes to discuss how to comply. That we'll do in lecture 7, the first thing.
Roger, Victor Tango Extra Yankee Zulu.
All right. Does Roger mean yes? It's a question to everyone. You can write down your answer in chat box. Does Roger mean yes?
No, sir. Victor Tango Papa Alpha Romeo. Negative.
Correct. So when X-ray Yankee Zulu told me that, Roger, I understand that he's received my message and he's heard it. That's the only understanding I will have. If he wants to say yes, he will say affirm. If he wants to say no, he'll say negative. Okay, remember this. Roger is a way to acknowledge that you have received the other person's message or transmission, but it does not mean a yes or a no. Everybody, please remember it. Good, good questions. One more question. I'm open for one more question before we start. Correct, guys. You're right. Guys are right. Roger does not mean a yes. Very good. Good answers.
Victor Tango Hotel.
Station calling Mumbai ground. Say again. Call sign.
Victor Tango Hotel Romeo Charlie.
Victor Tango Hotel Romeo Charlie, go ahead.
So which is the very first call where we establish contact with ground tower? Is it the pre-flight check or something there is it something before that?
Ideally, what it could be is a readability check. A readability check is a check that you can perform anytime, anywhere, on any network that you're talking to. It is simply a check wherein you say, so and so, this is me, how do you read? So even before you do your pre-flight checks, you can still do a readability check. It will be like a soft pre-flight check just to check your communication system. So that is also a possibility. Nobody is stopping you from doing that once you are in the cockpit. And people from the engineering side, you can also do it. No, not a problem. Although it is not a part of your maintenance schedule, I don't think there is a risk, but do avoid it unless your manager asks you to do it. But even if you do a simple readability check, it's not a problem. So that could be the first call ideally. If that is not the first call, then the first call definitely would be your pre-flight radio check, which will be an advanced version of the readability check, wherein you also say the scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read? So that will ideally be your first call. But that is not the only time the pilot uses the RT telephony headset systems. Even before communication is made from the ATC, the pilots are talking to the dispatch, company dispatch, that is the flight dispatcher, who is also having a VHF frequency using the same communication systems that we have. And the pilot will also be talking to the ground staff, helping the pilot with departure using the wired interphones. So a conversation will always be done, but yeah, to check whether the frequency is clear or not with the ATC, it could be a readability check or it could be a pre-flight radio check. And that pre-flight radio check is on VHF. And whenever you do it on HF, it becomes pre-flight cell call check. Remember that, everyone. Victor Tango Hotel Romeo Charlie, kindly acknowledge.
Affirm.
Very good. And learn to end with your call signs, all right? You will see that I don't follow using the call signs again and again when I'm replying to you guys. You're not here to judge me, you're here to practice. I try to keep it short so that we can save on some time. All right, so do not be confused there. You focus on performing by your side what is the right thing, and notice sir ne right nahi bola hai, so that you know what is right and what is wrong. That will actually help you. But I'm not saying I'm going to give you exact replies like any ATC. That does not mean you will not follow that. Okay, at times you'll see me reply quickly. At times you'll see me use your call sign as Papa Delta Uniform. That is me trying to save time, but you cannot call yourself Papa Delta Uniform. You have to say Victor Tango Papa Delta Uniform, all 5 letters. Okay, there is a protocol wherein you can use the first letter and last 2 letters of your call sign. Like if I say Victor Tango Papa Delta Uniform, it can be represent or read as Victor Delta Uniform. In theory, it works. Some people do it in real life, but there is a chance of miscommunication considering if I have Victor Tango Papa Delta Uniform and Victor Tango Romeo Delta Uniform, then the both call signs will be the same, Victor Delta Uniform. So there'll be a confusion. So in our examinations, we avoid it. All right. So we use 5 letters. No matter what, you will never talk anything wrong. You have to follow and practice all 5 letters and everything. Even if you see me use short codes, you should not do it. All right. So are we good to go? Are we good to go and study how to decipher the charts and master chart reading so that
Mumbai Control, Victor Tango Mike November.
Victor Tango Mike November Romeo Mumbai Control, go ahead.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding examination. So when we appear in examination, so we have to do a readability check or not?
Negative. You don't have to do it. But even if you do, it's nothing wrong. Actually, so your examiner will be sitting behind you on a desk and you will be sitting in front on another desk, and you both will be given headsets. They will be connected to each other. They will not be wireless, and your headsets will not be push to talk. They will be live. So you both can talk to each other and you both can listen to each other at the same time. So before starting, obviously you'll be under pressure of starting it on time. But before starting, you can just say, "Good evening, sir. I hope you can read me fine." Like that. So that you can do gently and nicely. You do not have to show off doing a readability check. He might confuse that, thinking that you are performing question number 1. So that could happen. The confusion, we should not give them any chance. So you can ideally say good evening or good afternoon, sir. Mostly good morning or good afternoon, considering the time of the day. And I hope you can hear me properly, sir. Is my mic correctly adjusted? And he'll say, yeah, yeah, or he'll say correct, or he might not reply, whatever it is. So do it in a different way. Don't do it as we do readability check. All right. Be a little smart there. You cannot show off, but you have to be smart.
From Victor Tango Mike November.
Good, good, good. All right. So we have seen 3 symbols on chart. One is VOR, second is ADF, and third is the air traffic service route. What is the symbol for VOR? Victor Tango Papa Romeo Alpha.
The symbol for the VOR is either a pentagon or a hexagon with Tango Papa Romeo Alpha.
Correct. The real life symbol is a hexagon, but in our WPC examinations, because the data is hypothetical, we might see a pentagon also. Good, that is correct. Victor Tango November India Sierra. Can you tell me what is the code for ADF stations?
ADF, correction, the 2-letter code of ADF, Victor Tango November India Sierra.
Very good, that is correct. ADF stations, basically we have NDBs that are associated with ADF. NDBs are ground stations, non-directional beacons, and they are represented with a circle, and the codes are 2-letter codes. Correct? So although ADF is an indirect way to ask the question, the answer is correct because we're actually talking about the NDB. Now, one thing I would like to suggest everyone, if you have been asked a question, like the first 2 questions that I've asked, like what is the symbol for VOR? The answer given to me was correct. What is the symbol for, what is the letter code for ADF? The answer given to me was correct. But in your part 2 Viva, you have to do better than that. How? So VOR is a very high frequency omnidirectional ranging radio navigation aid system, and is one of the most important systems used for en route navigation, terminal navigation, approach, arrival, and so on. And on the navigation charts, it is represented by the symbol hexagon, and its designator is a 3-letter code. Get it, guys? This is how you have to answer one question asked to you. Okay, in one question, you have to give 5 answers, 2 before the actual answer, 2 after the actual answer, explaining everything that you know. Then whatever they had thought about asking you, they will not ask that. They'll be like, okay, this student is going elsewhere. Okay, so do you know the frequency of VOR? Of course you know, because you know so much already. If I teach you frequency, you'll remember that also. Yes, sir, I know, and I also know how it works and what is the polar diagram of it. If you want, I can show it to you on paper, sir, like this. So his second question, you say things and you offer to explain it on a piece of paper also. They'll be like, sure, go ahead. And if you proactively, in a very good tone, behave like this, they will reduce the number of questions asked to you, provided you give correct answers. All right. So like if I say that, what is the symbol for ADF? So although the letter code for ADF, so the answer is correct, but then there's so much more you can tell that you have learned in previous session. Like I said, so ADF has its ground equipment, which is an NDB, which is symbolized on the charts, which is a navigation aid for en route navigation. And the symbol is a circle and the letter codes are 2-letter codes. ADF stands for Automatic Direction Finder, and that's all, right? That's all with it. So with practice, you will learn this. Generally, I used to teach this technique after part 1 was over and we were doing part 2, but I realized sometimes we run out of time. The examinations are announced and we are in a rush and we forget. We don't have time because you need to revise also. You need to make your travel plans also. You don't know which city the exams are and this and that. So when I'm explaining these things to you, they are very important as a part of your preparation. Remember these techniques and try to do them. Whenever I ask you questions, try to implement it right away. It is okay if you cannot, but you try. After a couple of tries, you'll get it very nicely. Okay. The another advantage of giving you answers in such a way is that, so in case they ask you a question for which you cannot remember the answer, they will think that, okay, the student already knows a lot about certain things. It is okay if the student does not remember 1 or 2 answers. Correct? This is how you have to gain their, what do we say, appreciation in terms. And whenever you don't remember an answer to a question, you say, sir, I have read it, but unfortunately, I cannot remember it. I'm sorry. You don't go blank in the Viva. What would you say? Sir, I have read it for sure, but unfortunately, I cannot remember it right now. I'm so sorry. Like this. This is the way you should reply. They should know that they are talking to a responsible candidate. The only thing keeping you away from your RT license is whether you're responsible enough or not. Because that RT license decides whether you'll get a CPL or not and a job or not. And getting a foreign CPL is easy. Anybody can do it. So WPC exams are hard because they filter according to their understanding whether the student is ready to become a pilot or not. And engineering students, they'll ask you questions regards to electronics and electricity also, considering your present experience. So if you're working as a technician, be ready to answer them on higher task. If you are in final semesters, of course, theory. But if you are in a first, second, third, fourth semester, it will be easy for you. Okay, good. So far, all correct answers. I'm very happy and proud. Keep it up. Good job, guys and girls who have answered. Keep it up. November Sierra India, good job. Papa Romeo Alpha, good job. So the first thing you need to notice on the chart is the legend. Legend is something that gives you the name for all the symbols available on the chart. And this legend is there on all maps and charts, be it a political chart, political map, geographical map, and so on. So I will continue from the same chart that was Delhi to Hyderabad that we saw the other day. Actually, Delhi, and we saw all the routes going out from Delhi. So are you guys able to see the chart yet?
Negative Vector Tango Mike Papa now.
Just stand by, bear with me, okay? I hope everyone can see the chart now.
Affirm. Victor
Good.
Tango Victor India Romeo.
So let's look at the legend here. I want everybody to write down the full form, okay? These full forms, otherwise you'll always be confused. And the symbols are pretty explanatory now. All right. Is everyone with me? Is everybody happy to be here? Ask that to yourself, guys. We are here with choice. Let's make the most of it. And smile when you're studying. So the first line is a black line, ATS route. The full form for ATS is Air Traffic Service. That route where you get air traffic services in terms of navigation aids and communication facilities in terms of air traffic controllers. These two things are very important for you to safely conduct your flight. ATS route, a black solid line, which is the third symbol that we discussed, air traffic service. ATS, air traffic service. Everybody, please write today's date, okay? Now this, the second most important symbol. TMA. TMA stands for, write down the full form, Terminal Control Area. Terminal Control Area. Put an oblique, that is a slash, and write Terminal Movement Area. So there are two definitions. The most accurate definition is T, that is Terminal Control Area. Although it is TMA, but you call it Terminal Control Area, okay? Now, what is a terminal control area? All these days that you were calling me Mumbai Control. So if I am Mumbai Control, then this line, light blue, dark line, solid line, which is not dotted, solid straight line, which is not curved. At times you'll see it curved, but as long as it is solid, it shows you the range of Mumbai Control. Okay. Your Mumbai Control is the biggest VHF authority in that area. Similarly, you will have Ahmedabad Control, where Ahmedabad will be the biggest VHF authority in that area. And then you'll have Delhi Control, which will be biggest VHF authority in that area. So the country or India as a state is divided into major control areas. That is TMA. And only those places who have TMA will have ATC call sign as control. So Pune is an airport that falls under or comes under Mumbai Control. That's why Pune will not have an ATC whom you can talk to as Pune Control. Every state has a chief minister. Your TMA is like that, where the name of the minister designation is ACC, Area Control Center. So the ACC, which is Area Control Center, which you will see as one of the designations on VHF, is the call sign. And the area is represented by TMA. So Mumbai Control will be represented on the chart as Mumbai TMA. So you will know that Mumbai is the authority which has maximum VHF range where you will talk to Mumbai Control. Remember this, all right? This is very important because whenever you will be crossing control boundaries, you will have to give a call to ATC saying that you're changing from Mumbai Control to Ahmedabad Control, Ahmedabad Control to Delhi Control. This is something that you will inform. When you will start doing calls with me, when you are in air, you will learn that. So where do I see it? I see it here. Let me share the screen with you. I hope everybody can hear me.
Affirm Victor Tango Victor India Romeo.
Oh, Victor Tango, Victor India Romeo, why are you sounding so sleepy? Come on, have some coffee.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Guys, please give me some energy when you're replying back, okay? Or else it really stresses me out thinking the lecture is getting very boring.
Sir, can you repeat the full form of TMA once again?
The full form for TMA is Terminal Movement Area / Terminal Control Area. The first full form you should focus is Terminal Control Area, and it is also known as Terminal Movement Area. CTA Control Area, all right? CTA is control area. CTA is represented by dotted blue lines. Then FIR is Flight Information Region. There are 5 FIRs. They're denoted by green line. And this is your HF call sign. What is the call sign? Place name and radio. How many radios do we have? Mumbai radio, Delhi radio, Kolkata radio, Chennai radio, and Guwahati radio. Guwahati is a sub-FIR. Half of its airspace is shared by Kolkata. They both have the same codes. Mumbai has Alpha, Chennai has Oscar, Kolkata has Echo, Delhi has India, and Guwahati also has Echo. We'll just quickly write them down and then I'll show you all the boundaries on the chart. Full form for CTR is Control Zone. Full form for CTR is Control Zone. And here we can see the CTR is dotted blue lines in circles. So all these circles in dotted blue lines we see are CTRs, control zones. And then VOR, we all know on this chart, it is a pentagon. In reality, it is a hexagon, and NDB is a circle. We all know that. Full form for VOR is very high frequency omnidirectional range. And full form for NDB is non-directional beacon. although the name is non-directional beacon, it actually means that it radiates in all directions, but it cannot give you one direction that you need. That's why you will see in future that there is a special equipment in your ADF system, which is known as sense antenna, to help you determine the direction. But it's okay if you don't remember it right now. I know you cannot see FIR full form. I'll say again, FIR is Flight Information Region. In bracket, write HF. Rest everything is on VHF. ATS routes are common to talk with HF and VHF both.
Say again, sir. Victor Tango Papa Romeo Alpha.
Write in bracket against FIR, the full form is Flight Information Region, and write in bracket HF. FIR regions are associated to converse over HF frequency only, while other TMA, CTA, CTR, those three ranges are to do with VHF communication, while air traffic service route is common. Doesn't matter whether you want to communicate over VHF or HF, the routes are common for everyone. So TMA, CTA, and CTR are ranges for different VHF ATCs, while FIR is a range for HF ATC known as radio. Now let's see this simple legend, and yet the map is so complicated. Let's focus on the left side of the chart. The technique is to start from top left, dividing the chart in 4 sections always. So here we see we have Delhi, and Delhi has ACC over here. Now this ACC, guys, although I have given this to you all before, I'll show it to you again. The full form for ACC is Area Control Center. And the call sign is Control, Delhi Control. Only those airports that have ACC as an ATC, that is Area Control Center, only those airports will have the word TMA. Remember, it's just what I was saying earlier. So here when I say that this arrow points towards a fraction where the denominator is 100 and the numerator is Delhi TMA, and the arrow is pointed here, surrounded by a blue solid line like this, which goes on somewhere there, below also. It means all routes and aerodromes within this range, if they are flying above flight level 100, that is 10,000 feet. So this is the bottom range. Whatever number you see in denominator is the starting point. Okay, we'll see this time and again. So this airspace starting from flight level 100 up to the highest limit, which is controlled by Delhi Terminal Control Area. So this airspace from flight level 100 above the upper limit belongs to Delhi Control. So if you are flying on Romeo 5904, somewhere here, say, and if your altitude is anywhere above flight level 100, then whom will you talk to? You will talk to Delhi Control. On which frequency? 120.9er. This is how you determine when to call which ATC. We will learn this again and again, at least 4 to 5 times. People who are not getting it in the first attempt, try to understand as much as you can. If you have any doubts, write them down. so that you can ask. We are talking about Delhi control on 120 decimal liner and Delhi TMA because this is the person with biggest responsibility. What does it mean? It means planes flying on Romeo 594, which do not have to land on Delhi, but they are just using the route to go somewhere else, probably Pakistan, Afghanistan, Europe, London, anywhere. As long as they are between this blue thick line range that I've covered with red, and if their altitude is more than flight level 100, they will tune into Delhi control on 120 decimal liner and continue flying, reporting their position, keeping safe separation with other flights until the time they are clear of Delhi control and they move on to the next control. So whenever you're using VHF for communication and especially VHF for navigation, because you see there's so many VORs on this route. One is this one that I'm coloring in red, Jalalabad, JAL, Juliet Alpha Lima. Upwards we have the name also, Jalalabad VOR. Then we have Sierra Sierra Bravo, which is Sikandrabad. And then definitely we have Delhi, Delhi VOR, Delta Papa November. Then we have Chilekri, Charlie Hotel India. So as for navigation, a pilot will keep tuning into first Jalalabad VOR, then Sikandrabad VOR, then Delhi VOR, and continue onwards if he does not want to land. But if she wants to land, what she will do, she will fly from Jalalabad to Sikandrabad, and then she will use the Delhi VOR as her terminal VOR. So that's where the terminal navigation aspect of VOR comes in picture. So as she leaves from Jalalabad, she will say, I am 15 nautical miles outbound Jalalabad VOR. It means she has left, she is out of that VOR and approximately 15 nautical miles or 25 nautical miles or 35 nautical miles. It depends. The data used here is hypothetical, but I'll show you how to get the accurate data also. As she continues traveling and reaches this point, very close to Sikandrabad VOR, that's when she will tune into Sikandrabad VOR and say she is 25 nautical miles inbound Sikandrabad VOR. It means she is inside the range of Sikandrabad VOR and approximately 25 nautical miles, that is 25 nautical miles from the VOR station. So this is how outbound a VOR and inbound a VOR is reported, which is a must for you to use in every call that you are in air. And this is what is going to get you more marks. Again, I'm going to discuss this at least 5 times in 5 different sessions so that you all thoroughly remember this. Outbound a VOR when you're just leaving the VOR, inbound a different VOR when you're just going to enter that VOR. Now, what happens when my pilot is over this point, Sikandrabad? She will say, over Sikandrabad VOR on Romeo 594. So now we learn to represent our position on 2 levels now. First with reference to the VOR and then the name of the route also. Suppose my cruising altitude as per the flight plan for this particular aircraft was flight level 350. Then how will I represent over Sikandrabad? I'll say Delhi control, Victor Tango, Papa Romeo Alpha, over Sikandrabad VOR, flight level 350, Romeo 594. So this is how you learn to represent your position in air. You say the name of the route you are on. You say your position with respect to the nearest VOR or whether you are over the VOR, and then you mention your flight level also. And there are 2 more elements that you will discuss. We will see as we go ahead. Now let's say the pilot's destination is Delta Papa November. So what will happen? As soon as she crosses this point, she will say leaving Secunderabad VOR. Using an RT, she will say outbound Secunderabad VOR 25 DME. Now this 25 DME is nothing but your 25 nautical miles that we were using earlier, 15, 25, 35, and so on. So this is your fourth element to report your position in air. So you'll say the VOR relationship, and whenever you're mentioning the distance, instead of using nautical mile, you will say DME. Now DME is the system that gives you your horizontal range with respect to your VORs. Why VORs? Because DME, although distance measuring equipment as it is called, it is a standalone equipment. It is always co-located with VOR. And the results are magnificent. You get accurate direction and you get accurate distance also. It really helps you maintain a distance direction and keep a safe altitude whenever you're landing or taking off. So now how to analyze how many nautical miles am I inbound or outbound Delhi VOR? Then you see the first dotted line, which I'll circle in green, around Delhi Papa November is something that looks like this circle here. And this circle has 30 nautical miles written just on its periphery. So here they say that whoever or whichever ATC is taking care within this circle. So firstly, it shows a range of an ATC. Which ATC we don't know, but what is the symbol of, what is the meaning of dotted circles? It is control zone, right? And if you see CTR, that is control zone, is directly written in. So the starting level is a control zone. Basically, whenever you see a numbers, letters there, it means ground level or whatever the range is given to the control zone up to fly correction 50. So the bottom denominator will show the starting point and the numerator will show the upper point. So whoever is taking care of the communications within this range, what is the range? It is 30 nautical miles. What is the vertical range? The vertical range is the numerator 50, flight level 50. Any aircraft which is up to flight level 50 and within 30 nautical miles of Delta Papa November VOR, then they will talk to the ATC in this first circle. And who is that ATC? Of course, when you are in air, that ATC will be tower. So your first circle most of the times represents your tower. So the control zone with the 30 nautical mile radius and an upper limit of flight level 50, whom to talk to? You talk to tower. Simple as that. Now you might wonder, so what is the range of SMC? SMC range is mostly not shown on the chart in your examinations. Even if it does, you don't have to worry because only when you're on ground that you will talk to SMC. The moment you reach the runway holding point, even before you enter the runway, you have to change to tower. And then tower will take care of you after departure up to say flight level 50, maybe a little beyond also, it is okay. And then they will pass you on to the next authority, that is APP, that stands for approach. And they will ask you to change to the next frequency. One thing I would like to tell you all that once we are done learning WPC charts, and if you guys and girls are performing really well, then I'll show you all the real navigation charts also to show you how complicated they look compared to this chart. But still we'll also see how accurate they look. So now that I see this circle has a range of 30 nautical miles, so carefully see where does this circle cut my Romeo 59er 4? It cuts somewhere here. Now, if I am over this X, it means I am 30 nautical miles inbound Delhi Papa November or Delhi VOR, however you want to call, you can call. And what do I do whenever I want to represent my distance? I say DME. So I am 30 DME inbound Delhi. So I understand hypothetically that this much distance on this chart represents 30 nautical miles. This is hypothetical data, but it helps you understand. It means more 30, more 30, more 30, more 30, more 30. So it helps you guess a hypothetical data to be used in the examinations by just looking at any one circle which is immediately circling a VOR. But still in the examinations, you are allowed to use any hypothetical data. So even if you are here on this blue X and say you are 100 DME inbound Delta Papa November, ATC will still let it go. But logically speaking, why make that error when you actually see that the range is only 30 nautical miles right in front of you? So over Sikandrabad VOR, '60 DME inbound. When I just say inbound and don't take any station's name, it means that I'm not making myself clear. And here there is a contradiction that I've already said I'm over Sierra Bravo, that is Secunderabad VOR, and I'm also 60 DME inbound someplace. Now remember, you cannot be tuned into two VORs at the same time. So when you're saying over Secunderabad, here you will say approx 60 nautical mile inbound Delta Papa November. On Romeo 594, flight level 350. This is how you will report your position in air. This is just one element of it, but this is how you get started. This is when my aircraft is over Secunderabad. What if my aircraft is on this X? So I will simply say 30 DME inbound, IB inbound, short code for inbound, Delta Papa November or Delhi VOR. On Romeo 594, flight level 350. Just by looking at the legend and the symbols and keeping my eyes open with respect to where the symbols are and what is written around them and understanding what TMA means, I'm able to make a very accurate position report call. That's all it takes, guys. What it takes is clarity in understanding. And this is how we have to proceed further looking at all aspects of the chart, where one more detail is required to be mentioned, which is radial. What is a radial? Here also I need a radial. And what is a radial? This radial, you will see, will always be like the monkey on your back whenever you're trying to learn air navigation for your ground studies. Okay. And in my experience, only 10% or 20% of students are actually clear about what a radial is until a long time in their careers. But you guys do not worry, because I'll teach you that in your RT studies. Okay. Somebody said magnetic bearing, Sierra Victor Papa. In a way, you are right. Papa Romeo Alpha is saying QDR. Okay, QDR is magnetic bearing from a station. Okay. But is a radial always a QDR, always a magnetic bearing? We will see all that. It is important for your part 2 as well as part 1. Okay. And that is what we are going to resume in our next class. We'll stick to radial, then we'll explore other parts of the chart. We'll look at the FIR boundaries, and we'll just have an exercise of trying to make our own route looking at the charts. And we will be done with chart reading. And then I will share the copies of charts with you all and give you all a task to do, which will be to make your own routes. All right. And try to report your position. So now time for questions. Please, guys and girls, go ahead.
Sir, I have a doubt regarding when we contact approach.
Station calling, say again, call sign.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango, Mike November Romeo. Sir,
Victor
when we
Tango,
approach,
Victor Tango, Mike November Romeo. Wait, stand by. Guys, please do not worry about when to talk to approach. I think I'm saying this for the 4th time, but it is okay. Don't feel bad, anyone. The purpose for approach is to manage traffic which is arriving at the airport and pass it on to tower in a very nice way, so that everybody can land properly. That was the main purpose of having air traffic controller as approach. So when you are flying, when you are in a TMA talking to control and you see your destination is close, all right, so you will request control to give you a descent. You will say, Delhi control, I'm here, so and so radial DME flight level, request descent. My estimated time of arrival is this. So they will give you a descent. They will say leave flight level 350 for flight level 250, maintaining a certain direction. You will say Roger, leaving flight level 350 for 250. The moment you reach 250, you will say Delhi control, Air India 123, flight level 250 maintaining. This is my radial, this is my route. My ETA Delhi is this time, so and so. Then they'll say Roger, turn right radial to 19er, descend to flight level 150, contact Delhi approach on 118.7. This is how they will hand you over to approach by themselves. And that's when you will comply. You will first turn right. Once you have intercepted radial to 19er, you will descend to 150. Once you have reached to 150, flight level 150, you will say Mumbai control, Air India 129er, radial to 19er, flight level 150, changing to Delhi approach on 118.7. Just a hypothetical frequency that I'm taking. And then they will say Roger, and then you will raise the station, Delhi approach, Air India 129er, flight level 150, radial 219er, request further descent. And Delhi approach will either ask you to hold and continue holding, or they will give you an approach, descend, until the time they can put you into the air traffic circuit and ask you to change to tower by saying contact tower. And that's how you will contact tower, get into the ATC circuit pattern. Please write it in your parking lot. Next class, we should also do ATC circuit. And then tower will give you clearance whether you're clear to land on the runway or not. This is the main purpose of approach, especially in busy aerodromes. Why are we giving this to approach? Why can't control directly hand me over to tower? It is because control is busy taking care of those planes which are flying through their airspace without having to land. So they are busy. So they cannot help arriving aircrafts with the accuracy. So they give a dedicated air traffic controller. Now approach is also given a task to talk to you after your departure when your tower wants to give you a further climb and send to your cruising altitude. In between, approach will also take care of you. But that is subject to when the tower wants you to contact to approach and when approach tells you to contact to control. So it's a very flexible concept. All right. On your charts, you will not be given the boundary for approach in most of the places. That is the reason when I say, just hear what the air traffic controller is saying. If they're asking you to go to the approach, only then you have to go to approach. Otherwise, it will be only tower and control for you. But if your aerodrome has approach, then after tower, before going to control, you will talk to approach at least once. But the flight level will either be mentioned on the chart or it will be given to you by the air traffic controller. But that is only in a few places on the chart. Okay, so please be rest assured about it and do not worry. There's nothing else to it.
Roger, Victor Tango Mike Papa Romeo.
If your question is not answered, feel free to continue. Okay. Yeah.
Sir, is it compulsory to mention that vertical?
Read you one. Say again all.
Sir, it is compulsory to mention that vertical position and horizontal position while giving the position information.
It is compulsory. It is compulsory.
Or when we should mention only vertical position or horizontal position.
You should always mention. You should always mention both, as long as you are in air. Always.
Roger, Vector Tango Mike Papa November.
Only when you are on ground, you don't have to mention your vertical position because you are on ground. So you can, when you are on ground, you can say you are at a parking bay, or you are on the runway, or you are on a holding point, or a taxiway, or maybe a dumbbell area or a hangar area. These are the various positions that you can represent on ground. But that's the only place where you won't say vertical, but say horizontal, of course. But in air, you have to say vertical as well as horizontal all the time.
Affirm Vector Tango Mike Papa November.
Anybody has any other doubt, guys? Do not think that sir doesn't want to answer a question that somebody has asked before. The only reason I emphasize is because I know that this question causes a lot of confusion, and I want students to have that level of confidence that I'm trying to bring upon you guys and girls. All right? No more questions? Good. Guys, your personal chats are visible, I think, to everyone. Be careful what you share, okay? But it's good to see you're talking about class. Very nice. After TMA, मुझे कुछ समझ नहीं आया. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know why, but I hope you access the recording and get done with it. Let me know and write your doubts down and keep me in the loop. We'll always do sessions where you have missed something or the other in future. Until then, you already have recordings, so don't worry about it. And just keep me in the loop. Do not struggle. Do not struggle if you have not learned something properly. I'm not like, I don't know, I don't want to compare, but I'll teach you as many time it takes for you to understand one concept. Okay? If you let me know. सर मुझे ये समझ आ ही नहीं रहा है सर, मैंने 3 बार रिकॉर्डिंग देख लिया है. I'll be like, don't worry, give me some time, we'll schedule a one-on-one session and we will do it. Okay, so please just let me know whatever it is that you guys want and we'll work towards it. So if you don't have any questions, I'm going to email you all across a small part of the chart that we have studied. Okay, not the whole set of charts or something. And yeah, you can just use it to revise. And slowly I'll share the whole set of charts with you once we are done with lecture 7 and probably 8 if we need to go to. So Monday, I'll see you all. This is your last weekend, which I think will be a weekend off. I think next week onwards, we might study on one of the weekends, but you will always get free days in between during the weeks. But we will start doing lectures on weekends also. And whenever we're doing a lecture on weekend, we'll do it a little lengthier lecture. So be mentally prepared now. We are stepping up in the game and we are going to increase our capacity to learn and study. Whatever it takes for you to stay stuck to the computer screen for an hour or two with me. Keep your dinner plans and everything planned accordingly. Please do not miss the session. Do not miss 15 minutes also in the end. Or if you do, please thoroughly go through the recordings and keep me in the loop. Okay? You have to go through me before the examinations, whenever you're planning to give. You have to do a mock session with me one-on-one before you go, each one of you all. If you have missed anything, I'll get to know in your mock. We might not have time to go through it again at that point in time. Okay, so it is good you keep me in the loop and I'll try my best. One question we have, Papa Delta uniform. When I said that we are moving to Delhi, we are moving Delhi to Secunderabad. No, we were actually flying from Secunderabad to Delhi only. My point of direction was always towards Delhi. Okay, if I might have said something, it could have been a slip of tongue, but nowhere did I plan to come out from Delhi. I have just kept one direction going towards Delhi. It is okay. Whatever doubts you have, keep it, bring it across. Nothing is personal here. Guys, please do not feel bad. Okay, sometimes you might see I'm getting a little, my tone is a little rude, but please don't feel otherwise. So yeah, your doubt is very well. It is a correct doubt according to the question, but I remember my direction was just towards Delhi. So keep that in mind. So outbound Secunderabad, inbound Delhi. That's how we'll represent. If we have to refer to Secunderabad, if we are tuned into Secunderabad VOR, we'll say outbound Secunderabad. And if we are tuned into Delhi VOR, only then we'll say inbound Delhi VOR. All right, just to refresh. Okay, we'll call it a day. No more questions. In case you revise and come across questions, let me know. Very nice seeing you all. Enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend, and we'll meet Monday. We'll study and we'll clear the exams, most probably in your first attempts. I'll see you all. Take care. Have a good night, everyone.
So Monday same time?
Yeah. Yeah, this is good, guys. Actually, I'm going to share a weekly schedule for this week. It will not be on a daily basis anymore. So be on the lookout. You'll get the schedule via email and we'll follow that schedule for the rest of the week. For RT, we are going to stick to the same time so far. Weekend lectures, we might change the time. So you will get to know that in your schedule. All right. All right. Acknowledge. Okay. Acknowledge is a word, by the way. Okay. RTR phraseology. Acknowledge.
Perform. Victor Tango, Victor India Romeo.
Good. Any requests, suggestions, let me know. WhatsApp, Instagram, call, voice note, whatever works for you guys. Email, anything and everything is okay. All right. Bye, everyone. Happy to see you all. See you on Monday.